Year 5, today we're going to be carrying on looking at percentages and looking at them as well as fractions and also as decimals, which we did start doing last week. Okay, have a look at this 100 square now. And we can see here that I have shaded in some of the squares. So if you remember last week, we said that our denominator was 100 because there are 100 squares altogether. And then just like we did for fraction, we count how many is shaded in. And then that would be my numerator. So I've got a row of 10, 20, 30 here, 31, 32. So my fraction is 32 over 100. As a percentage, it's exactly the same as the numerator, 32%. And then as a decimal, I've got 3/10 and 2/100. My placeholder 0 is there, 0.32. And hopefully you remember that all from last week. Have a go at this one. What is this 100 square showing as a fraction, a decimal and a percentage? And as always, press play when you're ready to find out the answer. So I've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87 parts shaded. And there's 100 altogether, so it's 87 out of 100. As a decimal, I would have 8/10, so that's going to be 0.87. And as a percentage, 87%. Well done if you got that correct. So we're going to use our knowledge of percentages now to answer word problems. So let's read this one together. Hedda is collecting stickers for his sticker book. He has collected 54 stickers and the book needs 300 stickers to be complete. What proportion of the sticker book has he completed? Now this word proportion means a part of a whole. And we often give the answers to a proportion question in fractions because it said a part of a whole, or percentages, or you could even do it in decimals. We're going to do all three today. So as a fraction then, he's collected 54 stickers, but it needs 300 to be complete. So that would be my fraction, 54 300s. Now, it's tricky because we're going to have to change it so we can put it into percentages and into decimals. So watch what I do now. Now, you may have recalled last lesson I said that percentages were always out of 100. So we're going to find an equivalent fraction to 100 now. So we've did a lot of this just before we broke up from school. It was tricky. What do I need to divide 300 by to get 100? And I'm going to do the same on the top. So 300 divided by something is 100. Hopefully you'll be able to tell me that it's 3. So I'm going to do the exact same thing to the top. I'm going to do 54 divided by 3. And I'm going to use my short division to help me with this. So 3 goes into 5 once with 2 left over. 3 goes into 24. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. 8 times. So 54 divided by 3 is 18. So as a fraction then, 54 300s is equal to 18 100ths. And now I've put it into hundreds, so I can clearly see that it's going to be 0.18 as a decimal, or as a percentage it's going to be 18%. So he's still got quite a few stickers to collect for his book. Okay, let's have a look at another example. Zainab is reading a magazine. She has read 142 pages and the magazine has 200 pages. What proportion of the magazine has she read? Remember, this word proportion means a part of a whole. So I'll start you off this time. I'll put the fraction, which is this. 142 she has read and there are 200 altogether. So she's read 142 over 200. And what you need to do now is work out what that is as equivalent to 100. Then you'll be able to tell me what the answer is as a decimal and what the answer is as a percentage. As usual, pause the video now, do your working out on a piece of scrap paper and press play when you're ready to find out the answer. Okay, so hopefully you could tell me that to get from 200 to 100, I need to divide by 2. And then if I do the same on the top, do 142 divided by 2, I get 71, which as a percentage is going to be 71%, and as a decimal is going to be 0.71. So she's read most of that magazine. A lot of times you're going to end up with a fraction that has a number that's smaller than 100. So here I've got a quarter and 4 is smaller than 100. So if I'm going to make this an equivalent fraction, I'm not dividing this time, I'm going to have to multiply. And now 4 goes into 125 times, so I'm going to multiply that by 25. And it means I have to do the same to the top number. 1 times by 25, that's quite easy. 25 hundredths. So then I can see that 1/4 as a decimal is going to be 0.25, and as a percentage, 25%. And that's quite a common one, so it's probably worth learning that one. Okay, pause your video now and I'd like you to have a go at this fraction, 10/25. What is it as a percentage and as a decimal? And you will need to turn it into hundredths first. So pause your video now, have a go at that on some plain paper and press play when you're ready to find out the answer. And you should have been able to tell me that 25 multiplied by 4 is 100. So I'm going to do the same to my numerator, multiply that number by 4, which is going to be 40 hundredths. As a decimal, that is 0.4. And as a percentage, that's 40%. Super well done if you got that one correct. So your very fluency looks like this today. Complete the table. That was what we did right at the beginning of this lesson, revision from last lesson. So looking at the picture and then what is it as a percentage, a fraction and a decimal. This one hasn't got the picture on, so you need to use this to help you. And then the second and the third part are using your equivalent fractions, changing it into hundredths, which then makes you able to find it as a percentage and as a decimal. As always, give me a little message if you need me. I will be with year 6 all day, but I'll pick them up either at lunchtime or after school. Hope you have a wonderful Monday, and I hope to see you all soon. Bye bye.